Ready?
Yeah.
When brainstorming how to go about writing this speech, we started by naming some of the words that first come to mind when we think about Mollie. Calm, but also upbeat. Positive, kind, yoga, dancing, spirited, and warm.
As these words came up, we kept trying to think of a single anecdote that would bring them all together and exemplify Mollie's presence on our team. However, we found it impossible to think of just one story that brought all this together, as it is the sum of so many small instances, not just one big event, that makes her positive presence so impactful on our team.
So instead, we followed our instincts as diligent Middlebury students and dove into some research. Searching for a quote, a book, or a story that could help us explain what Mollie means to us. We knew we had finally struck gold when we came across an article in the Buddhist Review titled, "A Perfect Balance." In that article, we found Mollie. We found her in a single word, equanimity.
The Buddhist Review defines equanimity as the ground for wisdom and freedom and the protector of compassion and love. Mature equanimity produces a radiance and warmth of being. Furthermore, the Buddha described a mind filled with equanimity as abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility, and without ill will.
Radiance and warmth of being. It is hard to think of a better word to describe Mollie than radiant. Not only because of her constantly tanned skin, blonde curls, and perfectly chiseled calf muscles, but because Mollie exudes positive energy and a caring warmth that makes every person feel welcomed and valued. I think that every person on this team can think of a time when being around Mollie, they just felt comfortable and at peace. To have an energy so impactful is a rare and powerful thing.
Abundant, exalted, immeasurable. The energy Mollie brings to this team is inexhaustible. Her upbeat spirit permeates every occasion that she is a part of, from dancing in the locker room to hyping the team up before every drill, play, or set of sprints. Regardless of the circumstances, she will be the one shouting the loudest, "Yeah, mid," on the field.
Without hostility or ill will. Mollie is the person on this team who, before the coldest practices, the worst running, and even the 6 a.m. lifts, reminds us to be grateful. On the hardest days, she encourages us to show up, give our best effort, and enjoy doing it together. Mollie is also a competitor, but she competes with grace. Even as she fights with grit, she never crosses the line or wishes harm upon even our fiercest opponents. Mollie wants the best for every person she comes across.
As the article continued to deconstruct the concept of equanimity, we felt it reflect Mollie even more. They wrote, "Upekkha," the more common term, means to look over and refers to the equanimity that arises when the power of observation, the ability to see without being caught by what we see. When well developed, such power gives rise to a great sense of peace. Additionally, Upekkha can also refer to the spaciousness that comes from seeing a bigger picture. Colloquially, in India, the word was sometimes used to mean to see with patience. We might understand this as seeing with understanding.
Mollie has always been able to bring a bigger picture view to this team, and watching her approach to lacrosse provided us with a resounding message that we are each a part of something much bigger than ourselves. With the intensity of playing on a college sports team, it is easy to be caught up in performance goals and focusing on achievement within lacrosse. However, turning to Mollie, we have always found that she sees the bigger picture for why we show up each and every day to endure difficult practices, why we choose to take countless hours of our already hectic days.
Put together, the word equanimity becomes to stand in the middle of all this. Although you are quite literally always the one in the middle of the pregame locker room dance circle, you also embody this as a form of equanimity. This being in the middle refers to balance, to remaining centered in the middle of whatever is happening. This form of balance comes from some inner strength or stability. The strong presence of inner calm, well-being, confidence, vitality, or integrity can keep us upright, like a ballast keeps a ship upright in strong winds.
Although your 5-2 frame makes upright stability a bit of a challenge when certain Mezcak steamrollers come charging through our defense, you more than make up for it with your grounding nature. In a time of
In a time of crisis, one's response is often a reflection of their true character. Mollie, as a senior on our team, this pandemic has affected you in ways that we cannot even fathom. However, your ability to maintain all of the characteristics we have just described is truly telling of your balanced nature. This is embodied in the email you wrote to the Midlax community. You said, "While we would give anything to be back on Chipman or on the end line of PK hearing this, I think now is also an appropriate time to hear this. May we all realize the depth of our individual and collective back pockets and the emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual strength that lies within them."
Mollie, thank you for keeping us upright. You have truly served as the ballast on the ship that is the Middlebury women's lacrosse team.